Things are back to normal here after a week of nice tournament action down there at Pinnacle Bank Arena for high school. We crowned all the champs, and we're ready to get back into the ticket water cooler. And we have Nate Brennan, of course, here as usual, but he is not quite as usual. He's pumped up because he went back home, and while he did so, the Hokies won the ACC tournament, stamping their spot into the big dance here. But more importantly, just for the who knows what's going to happen with the tournament, but beating Duke, ACC champions. Awesome. It took a buzzer beater to beat Clemson to begin the whole tournament. What a ride that was. To be back in Blacksburg, I'm happy for you.
It was awesome, and I couldn't have picked a better week. And the couple that got married, the wedding that I went to, they couldn't have picked a better day to get married because now everyone's going to remember that wedding is the best wedding ever because Virginia Tech won the ACC tournament for the first time in school history, the lowest seed to ever win the ACC tournament. I don't care if it's a down year for the ACC. Duke is a 2 seed in the tournament. Everyone hates Duke. That was the best part about it, too, is I had so many people left and right, people that don't even care about Virginia Tech, people that don't even care about the ACC, texting me congratulations because everyone hates Duke that much.
That's right.
And it was great. And Coach K's last year, he loses last game home to UNC, and then Virginia Tech literally blows them out, wins by 15. Yeah. I mean, towards the end of the game, Bonchero was getting dunked on. I mean, it was awesome. But it was, the greatest day of my life was probably, greatest memory was the day I was born. That was a good one. But this is probably
that. I think you're supposed to say that about a child. You don't have to say the day you were born.
The day I was
born.
One
of the best moments of your life. You don't remember
but
that.
This is probably a close second.
That's true if you have a kid, Nate. You don't have to say that.
It was probably a close second. No, honestly, it was. I showed you the video. People were literally partying in the streets. Like, cops had to shut down Main Street because there's just 1,000 people in the street. Somehow they got a couch to Main Street. I don't know who it was. Yeah. The kids got arrested before they could light it on fire.
That's too bad. The goal is always to burn a couch.
Yeah, exactly. So those cops, come on, let the kids have some fun. I wasn't a part of this, but
a little bit of.
I saw the initial riot, and I was like, okay, back to the bar to celebrate with the people, but it was insane. And if it wasn't spring break for Virginia Tech students, it probably would have been even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
There was 1,000 students, and they weren't even there because they were on spring break. It was absolutely incredible, and did
it take away from the wedding at all? Was it the wedding on any specific on the championship?
Well, it was funny because at first it was super cold, which was very out of character because it was mid-60s on Friday, and then it snowed Saturday morning. It was in 40 degrees. So that's Virginia weather, just flip-flops like that, which is really odd. So it was pretty cold. So people started to trickle out, but then you had some people that were still drinking, having fun. And then I ended up somehow getting the game on the TV, and then everyone's just huddled around the TV, and everyone's just going crazy.
Nice.
And then once we started to realize that Virginia Tech was going to win, we all started taking shots. It was the Hokie Bird showed up. That was a good omen. The Hokie Bird showed up at the wedding.
The wedding?
The Hokie Bird was at the
wedding.
Why? So that was awesome.
Why wasn't he?
It's what we do at Virginia
Why wasn't he at the tournament? I don't know. That's very strange.
The Hokie Bird was at the wedding, so I'm just freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a sign.
Was this a huge
wedding?
Was this everybody was there?
It was a pretty big wedding. It was, and you got to think the bride and the groom both went to Virginia Tech, come from Virginia Tech families. So basically everyone there was a Virginia Tech family.
Do they know the mascot? The guy playing the mascot, probably, I'm assuming.
I guess so. Yeah. I have no idea. But it was awesome. So we were all freaking out. I was hugging the Hokie Bird. It was great. But it's just one of those things I was telling you, too, that this is something that might never happen again in my lifetime. That's why I've been walking around everyone I see, I'm saying, hey, who won the ACC championship? Because it's crazy. It's crazy. It blows my mind that Virginia Tech, as a 7 seed, historically not known for basketball, never won the ACC tournament before, goes in and not only beats Duke, but kind of embarrasses them.
Yeah, and regardless of whether it can happen again, it will never happen again in Coach K's final season, his final ACC tournament.
Which made it that much even better.
Oh, I bet it does.
Oh, it was great. But again, in my lifetime, it's probably more likely than not that they will never win a tournament again. It's just not gonna, they're just not a basketball
You
school.
don't believe in much momentum coming out of this?
They showed the lineup of Virginia Tech. So Virginia Tech, their starters were 3 3-stars and 2 guys that weren't even ranked. Duke starters were 4 5-stars
and
1 4-star. I mean, their talent is just crazy, and that comes down to coaching. That comes down to culture. Obviously, Virginia Tech has a few seniors that start too, but it was just everything came together. They embarrassed Duke, who was the heavy. Duke was favored by 6 points. I mean, everything came together, and I just couldn't be happier, man. Like that was so cool, and to be in Blacksburg when it happened, to watch the riot after the game, which didn't get as out of control as it could have, because the cops were there, not letting us burn the couch. Which,
boo.
I mean, like at the time, it was like, boo, come on, man. Then the bag came. Maybe
was the hokey bird out there with the match? Like,
maybe we shouldn't be burning couches in the middle of Main Street. But I understood the sentiment. But it was, I'm riding high, man. I'm so exhausted just from this weekend, but pure adrenaline is just
that couch burning thing. That's that's very popular, especially like West Virginia, right? I mean, is that where it originated?
Don't compare us to West Virginia. But it was funny because everyone on Twitter was saying, "Don't do this. We're not West Virginia."
Right.
People in the older demographic, like 40, 50-year-olds, like act like you've been there before. And us, like mid 20-year-olds, like we've never been here before. Like, let us have our fun. Yeah. People are just chanting, "Burn the couch," and then a few people get arrested. It's fine. Again, we were riding high. Emotions were hot.
Yeah.
It was just awesome.
That's very awesome and very cool. Of course, we're going to talk all week about the NCAA tournament. This is the Ticket Water Cooler. I'm Jake Bachman. He is Nate Brennan. As we continue to kind of go through this, it was an exciting tournament over the weekend as well in the Big Ten. Iowa came out and got the win. I know a lot of Nebraska fans aren't too happy about that, probably, but it does. Again, I always go back and look at Iowa as a program for Nebraska. I mean, they run the same style of offense, so that's obviously a transition. They just are able to do it at a much higher clip right now. Yeah. But I always look at Iowa as a program that's never been great. But I mean, these last couple of years now, they're going to have a first team All-American. So that's the easy kind of way to say, well, that's why they're so good. And it obviously plays a big factor. But but whether it's Garza or now Keegan Murray, it's especially Murray. I mean, he's not an All-American coming in. He had like one other offer. So I'm not saying there's not a whole lot of luck that goes to it. I just think that Iowa's a good comparison, just geographically, especially in the Big Ten, of what Nebraska can do. And for them to get through the Big Ten tournament and win it all, they've only done that 3 times in their history. I think it was the first time since like 2006 or something. It was kind of cool to watch, I guess, from the outsider perspective, but frustrating for Husker fans is that, you don't want to see Iowa get hot. But between Virginia Tech and Iowa now, I think those are 2 of the hottest teams in the country. Both of them have somewhat tough draws, as you would expect. I thought the NCAA tournament committee did a good job this year. Usually there's one, whether it's the West or the East, whatever regional, that you go, I think that one's a little weak, Duke or whoever's got an easy way to the Final Four. I don't necessarily feel like there's a particularly absolutely loaded region or one that doesn't have a whole lot to it. I think they did a pretty good job, and it might just be the parity throughout the sport, right? I mean, there's enough teams to go around, but as I look at the bracket, how do you kind of feel about that unveiling, and as well for your Hokies and where they're seated at 11?
I think honestly, at first I wanted an 8 or 9 seed, just because obviously you want the highest seed you can get. But now looking back, I mean, you have the 11 seed. You're playing Texas. They'll smoke Texas. I promise you they'll win by double digits. I'm going to knock on wood because, of course, I'll probably jinx that. But then presumably Purdue will beat Yale in the second round. And then you're looking at a Purdue team that more often than not chokes in the NCAA tournament. Obviously, you have to then play Kentucky, which is a 2 seed, and that's kind of when it gets down to the nitty-gritty once you get to the Sweet 16. But if you're a Virginia Tech, this is probably best-case scenario, because as the 11 seed, obviously you're going to have to play a better team to start out with. But along with probably Iowa, maybe Texas A&M, you are the hottest team in college basketball. There's no reason that you shouldn't be able to beat Texas. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to beat Purdue. I mean, you just went and beat Duke by 15. You beat UNC by 18 or whatever it was. I mean, you've proven that you can beat any team in the country. But looking at the tournament as a whole, I think the South is probably the most loaded. I mean, the fact that Arizona is the 1, Villanova is the 2, which honestly, I think those are interchangeable. You could put either one at 1 or the 2. But then your 3 is Tennessee, who I was talking to you off air, I think is one of the best teams in the country. I think they got kind of robbed as a 3 seed, to be honest.
Won the SEC tournament.
Exactly. And then you have Illinois at the 4, Houston, who made the Final Four last year at the 5. That is an absolutely loaded region. So I think that's probably going to be the most difficult. But like you said, I think the parity in college basketball, more than in years past, I don't know if I can say there's the best team in the country. Like last year, I think it was either Gonzaga or Baylor. You could make an argument for either of those two teams. Those were the two teams that were going to be there at the end. Those are the two teams that were there at the end. This year, I have no idea. Like I genuinely, if you ask me right now, who are you taking to win the tournament? I wouldn't be able to tell you. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, I filled out a bracket quickly, but not all too seriously. So I'll have to do that as we go on throughout the week. Of course, you got to get them in pretty early these days, especially if you're going to take one of the play-in game teams to go far, and some of them do. Is that they're playing already tomorrow, so the NCAA tournament gets going. You don't have too much time to sit around and do your research. So maybe we could kind of try to do that, help you do that throughout the week as well. I do love the Midwest Regional, obviously location. That's one that has a lot of teams that are of interest, I should say, here in Nebraska. Kansas, the 1 seed, they'll play the winner of the 8-9 game, San Diego State and Creighton. And Creighton, for what it's worth, went on a bit of a run themselves.
They
to the Big East
smoked
tournament.
Providence. They embarrassed them.
And then had a bit of a scoring difficulty against Villanova, but still, that'll be interesting. And like we said, no team's really overwhelming. So I definitely expect an 8-9 team to beat a 1 team this year in that second round or third round, whatever they call it in the NCAA tournament now. And then further down there, you do have Providence as the 4 seed. They'll take on the winner of Iowa and Richmond. We were talking about Iowa, one of the hottest teams right now. And then, further down in that bracket, Wisconsin's the 3 seed. Of course, Chucky Hepburn of interest for Nebraska fans. You still have to wonder if that true point guard type of way that he plays. And then, of course, how helped making that bank shot that helped them win the Co-Big Ten championship there. What he could have meant if they did get his signature to come to Nebraska. But in any case, he's off with the 3 seed Wisconsin, 2 seed Auburn in that region as well. Nebraska knows quite well what Auburn can do if they get hot. So I mean, I just love every region. They look pretty loaded and ready to roll. I guess the one critique that you could have is that there is a pretty good possibility that Gonzaga will make the Elite 8 without having faced a Power 5 type of team. They'll at least make the Sweet 16 if they win. They have to play the winner of Boise State and Memphis. Any problem with that? Or I mean, those teams have proven to be good enough that you don't. It's just kind of odd. I'd like to see Gonzaga, who plays in their weight conference, have to pave their way to the championship. And that was the first region that was announced. So I thought that was a little bit odd. But for what it's worth, the 4 and 5 seed Connecticut and Arkansas, they kind of fit into that Power 6. Those are good teams. Yeah. And Boise State and Memphis, nothing to take away from them either. I would have just liked them to see Power 5 competition, because that's what we argue against them all year long.
Absolutely. I mean, especially when you look at the other 8 or 9, you have North Carolina and Marquette, 2 Power 5 teams. Seton Hall, TCU, another Power 5 team. San Diego State, Creighton, a Power 5 team.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a possibility that you could have made that the matchup, but obviously the Ken Pom net rankings, all that goes into the decision making. But I think Arkansas is probably going to be the biggest threat for them in that region. Maybe Texas Tech. Obviously, I'm not too impressed with Duke after they're showing in the ACC championship, but I would say that's probably the easiest bracket, which is kind of frustrating, right? Because, like you said, Gonzaga, I'm pretty sure they are the number 1 overall seed in the tournament, but I mean, when you play a cookie cutter schedule, I mean, it's the same thing it's the same frustration that I have with the SEC in football, is that it's kind of the opposite, though, that Gonzaga, you load up on your non-conference schedule, which I understand, but at the end of the day, other than St. Mary's, who else are you playing? I mean, it's basically
like
just
they're
a warm-up
expected to win by 20
every single game, which is kind of frustrating, because then it's a pretty easy warm-up going to the NCAA tournament. But then on the other end, you could say teams that are playing the SEC, Big 12, ACC, Big 10, you're about as warmed up for. I mean, Iowa is a perfect example, like you said. Iowa's probably the most tournament-ready team out of anyone.
Yeah,
you played in the Big 10 tournament as the 5 seed, so you're playing against the absolute best teams in the Big 10 to get to the Big 10 championship, let alone win it. And you have Keegan Murray. I'm going to ask you this, though, which I didn't even realize until today when I looked it up. Keegan Murray was a 3-star. How does Iowa keep doing this? I don't understand. And that has to be the blueprint for Nebraska, like you said, because, look, you're not going to be getting 5 stars every year. Obviously, this year you did with Bryce McGowan's, but that's just not the name of the game for Nebraska. So is it player development? Is it coaching? Is it just finding these diamonds in the rough, getting lucky? I just don't understand. I feel like I was the perfect example. They do it in football too. They just get these 3 stars that end up being like first-round NFL draft picks.
Well, and again, I keep going back to this quote because I think it fits in very well, especially with what Tim Miles did here at Nebraska, and then what some of the players, I suppose, that have been here so far in Hoiberg. Is Fran McCaffrey said or the broadcaster said in the Nebraska Iowa game, is he was talking to Fran McCaffrey about how he gets all his players to pass so well. So you notice, like, these guys, this is a oiled machine. Right? These guys can pass. And he says, I don't teach them anything. I recruit passers. So Nebraska's kind of fallen in love over the years of getting a 6'7" athlete that should grow into a basketball player. Well, Iowa and Creighton have both done this as well too. Is just recruit, recruit shooters, recruit basketball, recruit guys with the skill set that you don't need to teach, that they can help all together. They might not have the ceiling of the 6'7" athlete that is learning basketball, but they can get it going quickly, and they can play together as a team. So I think that's something they need to do. Strick was pointing out, and the numbers will play it out, is that Nebraska really needs a rebounder next year. In my mind, it's and they already got the class that they have, but there's always some turnover, and we'll kind of see what happens the next couple of weeks when guys make their decisions. But it's maybe it's not go get a 6, and it's nothing against Eduardo Andre. Maybe it's not go get a 6'10" guy that's learning how to play basketball, that has a good upside. Maybe it's go find a rebounder, a guy that that regardless is going to go in and rebound. So I mean, I think that's kind of something Nebraska needs to look forward, moving forward. There's also, quite a bit of questions, especially with this tournament, about what Nebraska could have done had they retained their group of guys. And I'm going to talk to Strick about this too. But Teddy Allen's led New Mexico State. They're in this tournament, and Delana Banton obviously playing well for Toronto. Just kind of thought, with Bryce McGowan's and having to do a lot of it, kind of the offense based around him. The recruiting structure was set up so that Teddy Allen, if you were able to keep him around, I know some people will say, well, they were better off without him, but it's hard to argue they're much better off without him, considering the record. If you could have kept Delano Banton and Teddy Allen and had Bryce McGowan's, that's all. How
much of a difference does that make?
That's all part of the plan, I suppose, when you recruited these guys, was maybe not that they'd all stick around for too long, but that was part of the idea in year 3. And so I think a big part of why it hasn't worked out is just retaining those big time players. And, that can go back even to, Cam Mack, for whatever reason it is in year 1. And people will say, well, yeah, Cam Mack wasn't that good, though. I mean, they've done better, since then at point guard. And that might be true. But that was what year 1 was about, was like to find a few guys that would be able to sit and give you an opportunity in the following season to have somewhat of a core built together, and they weren't able to do that, and they reset the next year. Now, hopefully you're not resetting in year 4. We'll see if they can keep some of these guys around, but it's that's part of the frustration, obviously, with the whole Hoiberg discussion that we've been having for the last several months. Is there's some pieces on this team that you like this past year, but is it translating into next year? Is this going to be something that you can build upon? And we're still not sure. So we'll kind of figure that out as it goes along. We'll continue to talk about this bracket and maybe kind of give our ideas of what the Big Ten, what they're looking at here. As, of course, everybody's got their different draws. We kind of went through Iowa there. But yeah, well, let's dive into that, kind of give our ideas about who's got the best idea, our best draw in the Big Ten, or who we have the most confidence in, because the Big Ten, for what it's worth, had 9 teams selected in the NCAA tournament, more than anybody else. Yeah, the second most was only 6 from other conferences. At the same time, I'm just not too. It's hard to pick a Final Four team out of the group. So we'll talk about that next here on the Ticket Water Cooler on 93.7 The Ticket. Jake Bakoven here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Solarion. A lot of people don't understand what Solarion is all about or have some preconceived notions about it, but I participated in their studies for many years and keep going back for many reasons. First off, the staff always treats me well, makes me well aware of what I'm doing, and they're really knowledgeable and informative. That always gives me the comfort to keep going back. Some people do studies as often as they can, while others just look for ones that fit into their schedule. Last year, more than 1,700 people completed the screening process for a study. Whether you're male or female and at least 19 years of age, you're eligible. If you're curious about how to earn up to $500 per day by participating in a research study at Solarion, check them out at helpresearch.com/new or call them at 866-213-2965. Once again, that's Solarion at 866-213-2965. 2965 or at helpresearch.com/new.
An Empire Fence is an investment in your home. This year, use your tax return to make that investment. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and security while improving the appearance of your home. Visit empire-fence.com to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home. With your tax return on the way, schedule your project now. Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
The middle of March is here, and you know what that means. It's time to get to Buffalo Wings Rings at 68th and O for our yearly party for the first 2 days of the NCAA tournament. Join us this Thursday and Friday for beer, food, basketball, great prizes, and sports talk. We'll be on location both days from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m., and the first 64 people to stop by on Thursday get a draw for a ping pong ball with a team and the tourney on it that can lead to great prizes if that team makes the Final Four. It's March Mayhem with 93 cents a ticket this Thursday and Friday at Buffalo Wings Rings, 68th and O.
Fruitcakes are just for Christmas, right? Gosh, I feel sorry for you. I mean, what if we had done that with bacon? Bacon is only for breakfast. We'd never have bacon cheeseburgers. We'd never be able to save a salad by adding bacon bits. We'd never have Brinner. That's breakfast for dinner. Don't limit yourself. Fruitcakes for St. Patrick's Day. Fruitcakes for graduation. Fruitcakes for Thursday. Beatrice Bakery and Grandma's Fruitcakes are perfect for every occasion. Check them out in downtown Beatrice or online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
You just kind of feel a little more settled with a guy like Trev Alberts leading the way. I think that's a big part of it.
Trev Alberts is like a mix of the two. He knows the business side of it. He knows what needs to get done, how to make money, how to spend money, etc. You know, whatever you got to do there as an athletic director. Then on the personal level, he wants to get to know the coaches.
I think a good description for Trev is that he understands how important relationships are.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Work, laundry, dishes. I was exhausted. I needed a vacation, but finding a way to pay for it, not so easy. Then I found it, a research study at Solarion. I searched the studies and found a perfect match for me. It was so easy. I earned cash for the study and booked that vacation. Plus, I made an impact on medical research. Find a study and sign up today at healthresearch.com.
You should consider the risks of the research before you agree to participate.
Today on Hey Culligan, unnecessary contaminants. Here's the referee.
Hey Culligan, that's a flag on my water for flagrant foul taste.
Ooh, that's a tough one, ref, but the solution is a Culligan Smart RO drinking water system that reduces up to 58 contaminants, making your water safer and delicious.
Yeah, I guess I missed that call.
And with the Culligan Connect app, you always know when your filters need changing.
The water's up and it's good.
Good call, ref, and we're already on the way. Try a Culligan water softener for just $9.95 per month. Go to CulliganLincoln.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs. Join 93.7 The Ticket tonight, Monday, March 14th, from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake for ticket weeknights. Nicole Griffith will kick things off from 6 to 8 p.m., followed by Talkin' Tens with Michaela Curtis and Kinsey Roby from 8 to 9 p.m.
From 9 to 10, it's Husker swimmer and diver Reagan Hinsey and Audrey Coffey, leading up to our final show of the evening with Amari Smith-Spates and Gwen Maea for In the Pocket from 10 to 11 p.m. Stop by, hang out, and enjoy $3 taco baskets paired with their large selection of house-made margaritas. That's all tonight, live from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the Ticket Water Cooler, sponsored by Culligan Water. Use the official water cooler of 93.7 The Ticket. We use their water for 7 years, so call them today to get your own water cooler for your office. Call today at 402-251-2309 or go online to CulliganLincoln.com. I did want to bring up this Nebraska baseball closing in on a victory, hopefully. They're up 5-4, 2 outs in the top of the ninth against the heated rival Omaha. And I only say heated rival because Omaha did beat Nebraska yesterday 4-3 up in Omaha. Now they're back in the capital city for the home opener against the Mavs, and it looks like they're going to get a win, but maybe I shouldn't speak too soon.
Yeah,
it's
you
just
never know.
It's a one-run ball game, so it can change on
Just need one more out.
Just one more out. Nebraska did make you sweat for it if you were watching this game. They had to score their 5 runs there in the 6th and the 7th inning, so they're down 2-0 going into the 6th, and then down 3-2 going into the 7th. And then they scored 2 home runs in the 7th inning. So hopefully that can get Nebraska out of their their dry spell to start the season, I suppose. They would improve to 5-9 if they can get the victory. For what it's worth, Omaha, not a very good record themselves, but it's a huge victory to beat Nebraska. They were in their
smaller school,
series history was 60-10 against Nebraska before yesterday. So now the 11th victory for Omaha. Yeah, I mean, and you know, it is what it is for Nebraska baseball. It's not starting off hot. You have to hope that they can run it out in shape as they get into Big Ten play. But it's
yelling in the other room.
People yelling in the other room. Not too bad. Somebody got on. It's not tied or anything yet. But
you got to focus on the softball team. About 15-7.
I'm just thinking, and we'll give the softball team some love too. I just don't want to downplay what that means for Omaha, because I think for Nebraska, it just continues the story, and it kind of takes away a little bit from they're playing in, they're a northern school, so they're not going to do really, well early on because Omaha was able to get it. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to kind of think of a comparison, but that's definitely a way smaller school fighting up and beating a Big Ten school, regardless of what they do for the season. That's something that they can wear on their cap pretty happy.
So if we're hitting the panic button right now, between 1 and 10, where are you at? It's still early on. They haven't gotten into Big Ten play yet.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, the more the losses go by, the more you start to worry, right, a little bit. I don't know if you're in full panic mode. I like the way Nick said it earlier, is that they can still turn this around and win the Big Ten, and it would be great and all would be forgiven. I just don't know if they'd be able to host any a regional, because they would have had to have probably been a little bit more impressive in the non-con. For what it's worth, too, the non-con kind of sprinkles throughout the season a little bit as well. As usual, Nebraska plays their games against Creighton at different times. After some conference play gets going, they have a 4-game stretch with BYU in the middle of Big Ten play, another game against Kansas State, or Roberts at some point, but I don't know if any of those are going to change too much how the committee is going to view them in the end. So yeah, it's probably just too late to completely turn around and host a regional. So that's the panic meter, I suppose.
So yeah, so I guess I'm panicking too much. It's just
I'm panicking a little more now.
Well, now I'm panicking a little bit. There is the
I shouldn't have said anything. So Omaha has tied the game now, 5-5, and can win it if. No, it's the top of the ninth, so they can't completely win it. They got a guy on first, but I think I'll panic considerably more if Nebraska gets swept by the Mavs.
By Omaha.
Yeah,
That's fair.
But either way, they're this close to doing it, so I don't know how much that should really change it. But it's a lot of these games, especially watching college basketball. It's kind of funny how we can go from. Especially, I mean, you're riding a high at Virginia Tech. What if they miss the buzzer beater? All of a sudden,
against Clemson.
Yeah, against Clemson. All the things are so much, closer.
Very fragile.
Yeah. Winning, the difference between winning and not winning in that game, how much that means to you now as a program.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy. Nick's in the other room. Nick, where's your panic meter for Nebraska baseball right now?
For Nebraska baseball, it's getting there. Breaking news. Do we have a breaking news sounder? Is it pulled up, Buck?
No, it's not.
Okay, then here's the breaking news. Here's the breaking news. Trevor Lake's portal.
Oh, no.
I wanted to see the reaction. That was my reaction too.
That's, yeah.
So I just want to let you know. Let the people know.
Yeah, Trevor
I'm a
Lake's
man of the
off the
people.
portal. He was had an injury riddled.
Yeah, shoulder. Yeah. He was supposed to
What's
shoot the
that?
3-ball really well. He shot the 3-ball exceptionally well.
Yeah, in front of
before Nebraska.
in front of scouts.
Yeah,
they do.
that's right.
Yeah.
The scout day, he was the one that
He is
impressed
the
everybody
top.
the most. I honestly did not know he had eligibility still. So
Yeah, that's actually good news for him at least.
Yeah,
But I
Trevor
don't.
Lake's
He's on the
alive.
Tom Osborne citizenship team.
Well, that too.
Pretty
Yeah.
Shout out
there's-
Trevor Lakes.
Pretty sure there's a lot of athletes on that team.
I think only athletes are on that team.
Yeah, I think as long as you're an athlete in Nebraska, you're on that team.
I don't know. if
No, I'm
that's the
joking.
case.
I'm joking. But Trevor Lake's portaled.
Yeah.
He is somewhere in the portal.
That's interesting because he's not
He's
like
lost.
I guess sometimes when you think of a walk-on guy, you could might think he's from Nebraska. You just had a former walk-on from Nebraska, Charlie Easley. He's
I
now
did.
doing much better at South Dakota State.
Much better.
But yeah, I mean, he's originally from Indiana, so there's maybe no reason to really stick with us because you're not going to get much playing time. But that was kind of the thought last year before he rejoined the team, is like how much more playing time he's going to get because he thought there would be significant improvement. But maybe it's just time for a fresh start for him.
Bach, we need to. And Nate. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, foul ball. Also, BTM Plus, if you're listening, or Big Plus, whatever you want to be called nowadays, if you want to update your score bug and show where the runners
Let's say you
are
can't
on-
see runners. I didn't
there-
even know there was
there
runner
are-
in scoring
there,
position.
there are runners on base. There we go. They heard me.
Yep. Oh,
First
man.
and third. Look at that. The power of radio. Live time. Well, 5-second delay.
Changing lives.
That
5
or
seconds
they might
delay.
have been working on it this whole time. I'm
Maybe
hoping.
it just. Oh, I thought that got fisted out into center field. Okay. Anyway, Bach and Nathan, you can be a part of this as well. We need to go through and all of the additions for Nebraska basketball over the last 5 years that just haven't worked out. Matei Kavas, Trevor Lakes.
Hey,
Dude, don't
I
forget,
enjoyed
was there
Matei
really
But
Kavas.
that
Matei
much
Kavas?
expectation for Trevor Lakes, though.
not really.
No,
Yes,
but
I
just,
mean,
it's
come
still, it doesn't matter about expectation. It's just like they didn't even set an expectation. Like, well,
Yeah.
there was no, even if the expectation was play in 10 games, they did not meet that expectation.
But even like I was saying this earlier, there's a world in which you were able to convince Delano Banton to come back, still have Teddy Allen, and compare
That's
them
what we
with
were
Bryce
just talking about,
McGowan.
yeah.
I mean, that's more the recruiting plan of what year 3 should have looked like if you're able to kind of keep the roster.
Okay,
together.
okay. See, I'm sorry, Bach. This is what Nebraska baseball needs to fix.
Yeah.
Right here. See, this is the things that we did not notice last year. So once again, it's a freshman right fielder, Garrett Anglem. And I believe that's Bryce at second base.
He's
But
fast.
like
Bryce is
here's
fast.
the deal. Like they just collided in foul territory in the Bermuda Triangle. So it's like no man's land. It's the area between right field, first base, and the second baseman in foul play, if you can picture that. But this is what I'm saying. Like this is where like the right fielder there should have called him off, or the second baseman. The
Somebody had to,
communication there, and that's the things that we didn't have to worry about addressing last season. Now this year, we're just seeing that come over and over again that
Do you
they need
think
to
the
fix that.
preseason expectations have anything to do with it?
I do not. I don't,
don't think so?
because I think they were absolutely warranted, and it wasn't us that put the expectations on them. I mean, this was Will Bolt and his staff, and with a staff like this, they don't seem like the type of coaches that are just one and done. Like they don't have a magical year.
But I think that there might have
they
been.
just,
They did lose several really good
They
players,
did.
and it's not like they took over. Like Darren
Lost a
said,
second round draft pick.
yeah.
See, I don't think they lost as much as people feel like.
Schwellenbach, I
Schwellenbach
said before the
is a
season,
huge
that's a
one.
huge loss.
Yes, Schwellenbach's a huge one, and Jackson Hallmark's a huge one. But if you think about it, you're bringing back a decent amount of pitchers. You replaced what's it called? Chance Roach. Obviously, you lose Cade Povich as well, who's a Friday guy. But you lose Chance Roach, who's your second guy. You replace him with Dawson McCarville, who's a similar type of talent level guy as Chance Roach was. Comes from junior college, and same story as Chance Roach. But He's now your second day starter. You're searching for that first day starter, which you thought was Kyle Perry, but KP couldn't get out of the second inning or third inning, consecutively. And so you're looking for a guy like that. Cody Frank stepped up a little bit. But like the pitching, we were talking to Will Bolt, they felt good about it going into the season. And
wants to host a regional.
Then you look in the field and how they're set up. You're returning the guy that kind of bursted onto the scene last year in Griffin Everett, and he's your best player right now. You're returning the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. You're returning Bryce Matthews, who was a highly rated recruit, and now he has the ability. He's not playing today, but he came in as a shortstop. He was recruited as a shortstop and got moved to second base last year because of the second round pick you had in Spencer Schwellenbach. And when when Bryce wasn't playing, you had Cam Chick, who now has moved into the outfield, which once again is his primary position. And so like you're having these, you get Colby Gomez back, who's a top first baseman. You get Jack Stile back, who was good last year, just did not see the field because of so much depth, and Luke Roscom. And like you have the guys that played in roles last year, but now they're asked to do more, and they're just not fulfilling their role right now. And it's extremely frustrating.
We were talking about this too, Nick. Do you think that the window of opportunity to host a regional is gone?
Yes. Unless they win out. Like that's it. Like unless they win out and they finish the season with 9 or 10 losses. If you go over 10 losses and you're not in the SEC, you're not winning. Like the Big Ten is just not good enough to get enough respect nationally to be a top 16 team in the country. Like, because that's what you have to be. It's basically the top 16 teams in the country, whether they go off of RPI, whether they go off the AP or Baseball America, whatever it is. Like the Big Ten just doesn't give you enough respect. It's Nebraska. Well, it was Nebraska at the beginning of the season. It's Nebraska, Michigan, and maybe Indiana if it works out, or Ohio State. But like you can't compare the Big Ten to or South Carolina. You can't compare them to Florida, LSU, Mississippi State,
even the ACC too. Has 6 ranked
Georgia
out west. There's a lot of
exactly. So like at the end of the day, Long Beach State's even a team, and so like now looking back, especially in a season that you're struggling bad. You would have loved to have that series against Long Beach State because those are some quality wins that you could have had. Looking back, you would have loved to get the midweek game against K-State because those are games that like I said on my show, they hurt bad at the end of the season when you're looking back and going, man, it would be nice if we were 41-10, or excuse me, if we were 37-13 instead of 33-15 or 17 or whatever that would be.
I'll take 33 if they can get it.
But like that's
anything over 30 at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's not impressive that's not impressive enough in the Big Ten to be 12th in the country, because you have teams like Mississippi State who may have more losses, but their wins, they might have 38 of them, and their wins are against LSU,
winning series,
South Carolina
SEC schools.
Yes, and they're sweeping Vanderbilt, and like that's what. Like the Big Ten, unfortunately, in baseball, just doesn't have enough street cred, and that's why when going into the season, the expectation, Nebraska, they have to win every single series. If you remember last year, they didn't lose a single series last year, and the loss against TCU, like even if you can get one of those games, like it's good. And Texas is the number 1 team in baseball right now, and. So when you're looking, and just saying, you're going to be looking at the end of the day, it's, man, Nebraska, they're going to look back on this non-con slate and see a loss to Omaha and potentially another loss if they, can we make a play, go to second? There it is. Okay, so yeah. So now, Nebraska has a chance to win at the bottom of the 9th. But
the one nice thing about baseball, though, that I will say is very different than basketball and even football, especially. It's a long season.
It is.
Teams go through streets.
It's not as long, though, as Major League Baseball.
No, not as bad.
I'm just saying that there's a difference. I
You had every opportunity to win every Big Ten series and still easily make the tournament. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Well, that's the thing. Like, and here's another thing also. Nebraska, with there being an actual tournament this year, it does play into Nebraska's favor a little bit because it's in Omaha. And I'll be there. Like I know I'll be there. Like I'll make the drive. Like I know a lot of Husker baseball fans will, even if they're a middle of the pack team in the Big Ten. So I just think maybe they get the automatic bid, but that doesn't help them out. And I think it would still be if they don't host a regional, it's going to and will
You're dealing with the
size.
issues that you dealt with last year. Where you're going to play in Arkansas and you're going to lose.
Well, and this year it's going to be rightfully so because you're not going to be like you were last year. If Nebraska now, if they turn it around, which, like you said, Nathan, there's plenty of season left, but now you have to think about it. After today, here in an hour, they're going to be 14 games through. Like it's going fast.
Yeah,
and you don't have the luxury of time when you have Ohio State and you have Purdue and Indiana and all those, because it's going to go by fast. And you never know when a guy is going to go out with Tommy John or when a guy is going to get cleated and be out. Like if Griffin Everett's out for a week, man, that's hurtful because that you're losing your backstop. Yeah. Griff has caught every single game so far. In a 50-game season, that's a lot, man.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, though, it is the home opener here at Nebraska, so there is a lot of season left, but as we're going through as well, college baseball can go by quickly, but either way, Nebraska, well, I'll tell you what's going to be ugly is 2 Omaha losses, so they've got to at least finish this out. It's the bottom of the 9th now, 5-5.
This guy is fun to watch, though, Core Jackson, freshman.
Yeah.
There's a lot of optimism, but...
this has got a lot of young guys on this team.
Trevor Lake's portal.
Trevor Lakes is in the portal, and we'll be right back here on the recruit. Or what is this show?
Water cooler.
Water cooler on 93.7 The Ticket.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SauterHeyman.com.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
The Cash Blast promotion from the Nebraska Lottery is back. Until April 12th, when you buy a 2x2 ticket and enter the voucher number online, you could win a $5,000 or $500 cash prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw 2x2 ticket, your cash prize is doubled. There will be 7 weekly drawings and 14 total winners in the Cash Blast promotion. Cash Blast from the Nebraska Lottery. You can win $5,000 or $500. Promotion ends April 12th, 2022. 2x2 top prize odds, 1 in 105,000.
Our Remington Homes has really expanded and taken off in the last 5 years.
Bob Benish of Aspen Builders talking about their exciting new division, Remington Homes, which makes the home building process easier and more affordable.
The exciting thing about a Remington home is you get to choose your floor plan from predetermined floor plans. You can select your options. We give you a lot of choices. By selecting certain floor plans, they're just easier to build. And you couple that with our great lot selection in all different areas. People do not want to be married to their house payment. They want to get a nice house with nice finishes in a great area for an affordable price. And that's what Remington Homes are all about.
Home building is easier with a Remington home from Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at remingtonlincoln.com. remingtonlincoln.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Join 93.7 The Ticket tonight, Monday, March 14th, from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake for Ticket weeknights. Nicole Griffith will kick things off from 6 to 8 p.m., followed by Talkin' Tens with Michaela Curtis and Kinsey Roby from 8 to 9 p.m. From 9 to 10, it's Husker swimmer and diver Reagan Hinsey and Audrey Coffey, leading up to our final show of the evening with Amari Smith-Spates and Gwen Maea for In the Pocket from 10 to 11 p.m. Stop by, hang out, and enjoy $3 taco baskets paired with their large selection of house-made margaritas. That's all tonight, live from the Upside Bar and Lounge on 27th and Pine Lake.
Southeast Community College is training tomorrow's workforce today with our nearly 60 career and technical programs. We are doing our part to help employers fill vacancies during this current labor shortage, graduating students with skill sets employers are seeking. We're also helping to upskill the workforce by adding short-term credentials like certificates in many programs so that employees can get retraining quickly. Learn more about upskilling with SCC at southeast.edu/academics. SCC, your path to possible.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $22.07 per hour and other select jobs starting at $23.77 per hour, with wages growing up to $29.71 per hour. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Back to the Ticket Water Cooler. Brought to you by Culligan of Lincoln on 90.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good news coming out of the break. If you missed it here, a little bit of a cool moment for Griffin Everett of Nebraska, of course, who just hit a walk-off. Not a home run, but I suppose a single. All they needed was a single to bring in Max Anderson from second base. Nebraska wins on a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth, 6-5 over their hated rival. The heated rivalry between Omaha. They ended up splitting the series. Of course, Omaha won that game yesterday, but it would have been very tough on Nebraska's resume, I suppose, if you lose at home to Omaha. But either way, I'm sure the Mavs are pretty happy with what they did during that series. But Nebraska now moves up to 5-9, and Big Ten play is right around the corner. So we'll kind of see what it leads to for Nebraska. As we mentioned, not perfect, but maybe a moment like that can kind of get the team going.
Buck, I'll be honest, I'm a little bit distracted right now, so I'm not a big TikTok guy. I don't. The only time I really use TikTok is when my girlfriend or send me something. But I'm a big Instagram Reel guy.
Instagram Reel?
Instagram Reels.
I'm not a big Instagram guy, so what does that mean?
The Food Network.
What's a Reel?
It's basically like a TikTok, but it's on Instagram.
Okay.
And TikTok's not my thing.
Okay.
But they're showing how they make pizza ice cream.
Ugh.
Something you'd try. They're putting they have like milk and how they make actual ice cream mixed with tomato sauce.
No, I don't think so.
It just tastes like a piece of pizza.
You know what you can do on ice cream that people don't realize, that like the ice cream will take away any flavor of the pepper if you put pepper on it. So you can have an ice cream cone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, put as much pepper on your ice cream cone as you want. You won't taste the pepper.
Who told you that? Have you tried this?
Yeah, I've tried this. I think my dad showed this to me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So now once in a while I'll do that just to throw people off.
Maybe I'll try it out.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like anything.
What makes it? Wait, okay.
I'm not a scientist.
So many questions here, Buck. Who told you this, and when did you try this?
I tried this a few years ago because I think my father showed it in front of me. Maybe we can Google it. I'm sure there's some information out there.
I need someone to bring in some ice cream and some pepper because I want to try this out. It's just like that garbage that you can't eat 6 saltines in a minute. I can eat 6 saltines in a minute.
Who says you can't eat 6 saltines?
That was like a thing. I remember we did it in middle school. Our teacher said, I challenge anyone to do 6 saltines a minute. And like 3 people did it.
Because of the like the consistency.
It makes it so dry.
Swallow,
yeah, it's tough and you can't swallow.
Yeah.
But if you're hydrated enough, you could do it.
Yeah.
I know you could do it. Pepper on ice cream. But why? You're just ruining the ice cream.
No, it doesn't taste any different.
But then you're wasting the pepper.
I suppose, yes, you are wasting.
I have very many questions about this. I'm pretty sure there's something else like that. When you mix 2 things together, you can't taste it. But regardless, pizza ice cream. Come on, what are we doing? Why would you even decide to have something created like that?
Yeah, that's gross.
Come on. And there was, I don't know what it was. We were talking about the other day. We always have weird ice creams, and there was like an egg salad ice cream or something.
Oh,
it's just like, where do people come up with this stuff? I don't even know how ice cream's made, but it's like don't fix something that's not broke. Like
Yeah.
ice cream is great. Just leave it alone. Why are we making
That
it
is
pizza?
something that I don't know what is the fascination. There's a few things like that where it's like just because you can make different flavors, we might as well do it.
No,
Ice
mac and
cream's one of
cheese
those
ice cream.
things.
That's one of them.
Oh
too.
man,
Come on,
I do like
guys.
mac
What
and
are you
cheese,
doing?
but I don't
You want
think
to try
that's
some
it.
ice cream?
No.
And that's the thing too is I love how they're limited edition and they sell out within like 5 minutes. Like, who's the psychopaths that are voluntarily saying, "All right, let's go eat some mac and cheese ice cream"?
Oh yeah,
My
I can't
God.
imagine.
Good for
that.
you. Honestly, that might be one of those things. Don't knock it till you try it. So I'll be one of those people. I won't knock it till I try it, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if you gave me pizza ice cream, I probably won't like it too much.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, like,
That's
who
always
knows?
my example if I'm trying to like juxtapose flavors, right? I always say, I like ice cream, I like spaghetti. I wouldn't have spaghetti ice cream,
Ugh.
but now that's pizza's the same thing. It's the same, sauce.
No, 'cause I'll have to send this to you, but it's literally they're pouring tomato sauce into the ice cream.
Maybe just as disgusting to Lakers fans. You pointed this out earlier. Russell Westbrook is shooting 9% from three since All-Star break.
Maybe he needs to eat some
9%
pizza ice cream. That's a joke. My God, is that the biggest fall off of an NBA star we've ever seen? It was 4 or 5 years ago. He was claimed as the best player in the NBA, won MVP.
Yeah.
They led the Thunder, I'm pretty sure, to the playoffs single-handedly, and now it's kind of a joke now, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a meme more than anything.
KG's still interested because KG had his number retired over the weekend. Kevin Garnett in Boston, and he went on with Kendrick Perkins, and he still thinks the Lakers are dangerous. He still says if you're a 1 or 2 seed, you don't want to see them as an 8 or 7 seed. The way they've been like, and maybe they're a little bit better with Anthony Davis. Clearly, a lot better with Anthony Davis, but I just still don't. I don't think it's there. And part of it is the Russell Westbrook thing. He doesn't.
It's terrible.
There's only one ball, and he's not great with it.
And that's the thing is to get Russell Westbrook, to get Anthony Davis. I mean, think of all the players that they've had to move.
Yeah,
that are now successful enough. I mean, Brandon Ingram's been an all-star. Lonzo Ball has proven that he's not a scrub. Alex Caruso was in the running for 6th man of the year for the Bulls to start the season. I mean, it's just.
Kyle Kuzma's better than
Kyle Kuzma looks like he's pretty good too. So I mean, at what price are we letting
Julius
LeBron
Randle?
Be the GM, run everyone out of town?
Oh, he does it everywhere he goes.
He does.
They're in quite a hole now though, because they do have AD signed for a while. He's injured left and right.
That's
And
what I
Russell
saw.
Westbrook they signed to.
And I saw Colin Cowherd was talking about it that if you're the Cavaliers, I don't want LeBron back. I'm not trading my young core for that.
Oh yeah, no,
absolutely not.
You would sign him maybe, but you're not trading much of a haul for him. Although he maybe could lead the league in scoring this year. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Could go for the scoring title, just past 10,000 assists. Also, doesn't give a lot of effort at certain times during the game. That's fun to watch as well. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with On the Block with Stricken Bach on 93.7 The Ticket.